Welcome to the series on C programming, in which I cover important topics of pointers. In this video, I'll teach what is a pointer and how to apply pointer to solve programming problems. As part of this, I'll cover memory for variable, what is address or location of a variable, and what is a pointer variable. Once that is understood, we'll use assign address to a pointer, how we can pass address of a variable to a function, and then we'll also learn that how we can manipulate variable using pointer. So we'll understand this as part of one programming problem. Let's get started. Before we understand technical details, let's go back to school days. So let us consider a problem. Say in your shop you had 4569 pen drives at the start of the day. At the end of the day, 458 pen drives were remaining. How many pen drives were sold in the day? So we want to find out answer to this. So what we used to do, we take a piece of paper, we write first number on one line, we write second number on the next line, we use operator subtraction, and then one by one we do subtraction of digits and we find out answer. Basically here we are using a space of this paper to solve the problem. Now in the same way, when we write program, so program also is going to take up space in memory. So let us represent that, say this is our program and it is going to take up space in memory, and you can see that here when we solve problem on a piece of paper, we are going to occupy some space here. So in same way, when we run our computer program like this, so this program is going to take up space in memory, and whatever variables we have created, these also going to take up space in memory. So let us give addresses to this memory location. So you can see here we have given numbers to lines on a piece of paper. In same way, memory will also have numbering. So for example, the first byte, it's starting with address 1000. Now whenever we run a program, whatever variables we have created, these variables are going to take up some space in memory locations. So let us consider that variable x is going to take up 4 bytes. Same way variable y is going to take up 4 bytes. Variable z is also going to take up some 4 bytes. So that will depend on what architecture we are using. We can see here that on piece of paper, this number is going to take up some space. Now whenever we represent it in form of program, so this variable x is also going to take up some space in memory. You can see this starting address 1000, which is called as location or address of variable x. Now let us represent this whole variable x, which was occupying 4 bytes. You can see it here. This variable x is occupying 4 bytes. So let us represent it as a one single box like this. And let us also write the starting address 1000 and ending address 1003 along with this box. How do we get location or address of this variable x? So for any variable x, if we write ampersand x like this, it will give us starting address of variable x. So to get address of any variable, we have to use operator ampersand. So that's called ampersand x. Now the question is how to get something that is present on some memory location. So we have value 4569, which is present on address 1000, which is actually belonging to variable x. So here comes use of pointer variable. So what is a pointer variable? A pointer variable, or just it's called as a pointer, it is a variable that points to another variable. So you can see here we have variable x. In same way we can have a pointer variable like this. So this pointer variable will be pointing to another variable, which means that this pointer variable ptr is going to hold memory address of another variable. In this case it is x, and we know that the starting address of variable x is 1000. So ptr is going to hold address 1000. But by just holding address in ptr, how does it know how many memory location it has to use for this box? Because this box is representing integer variable which has 4 bytes. If we have some another variable of some other data type, it may take 8 bytes. We don't know. So this ptr variable has to know that how many memory addresses, how many bytes are making this variable x. So there comes the data type of pointer. So if you have this ptr as a pointer variable, it will have some data type which will be matching to the data type of variable x whose address it is going to hold. So integer asterisk, that is called as the data type of the pointer. So pointer variable gets that knowledge, that is it has to read 4 bytes starting from this address 1000 based on the data type of pointer itself. In this case it is integer star. So it means that a pointer variable of some data type can hold address of any variable of that data type. So here we have variable x. Now some pointer variable ptr wants to hold that address, then data type of that ptr has to be integer star or integer pointer. Now this ptr can also point to another variable. Say we have another variable y, we can make this ptr point to that another variable by assigning address of variable y to this ptr. So how do we assign address of a variable, say x, to a pointer variable, say ptr? So we have this integer variable x and we have one pointer variable of matching type which is integer star. How do we assign address of variable x to ptr? So we write ptr is equal to address of x. Once that is done, we need to know how do we manipulate the variable x using the pointer variable ptr. We write asterisk ptr is equal to 30. Once we do this, before this if value of x was 20, now using this we can change that value to 30 using pointer variable. So you can see that now using pointer variable we can manipulate variable x because pointer variable is holding address of x. And let us apply all this concept to a programming problem. So we have a program where we have created a variable weight and we want to decrease our weight. So initial weight is 90, I want to decrease it by 1 and I want to make it 89. So we have created two functions. One is a decrease weight which is taking this weight as an input, and another function called decrease weight ptr which is taking address of weight. These are the functions. Decrease weight is going to decrement weight by 1 and decrease weight ptr is going to decrement weight by 1 but by using pointer variable. So in the first case I am straight away passing this variable's value here. In the second case I am not passing weight but I am passing address of weight to this function. We will understand that how it is going to affect in the output. So let us go to the Visual Studio Code. Here we have a program pointer.c. So as I discussed that we are going to pass this weight variable to decrease weight function, which is here, where I decrement weight by 1. And the second case I use decrease weight ptr function where I am passing address of weight, and once we pass address of that variable we can manipulate value of that variable using this ptr, and this is what exactly I do here. I say asterisk wptr is equal to asterisk wptr minus 1. So whatever is the value present on the address that is being pointed by this wptr, which is in this case weight, I am going to decrement it by 1. Let us run this program. You can see that when I pass normal variable, its value doesn't change. But when I pass variable with the address, its value changes from 90 to 89. Now to understand how this happens, let us see another program which is similar to this, but now I'm going to print addresses of the variable. So in this case, I'm printing address of weight variable before I call the function, like this. And inside this decrease weight function also I'm going to print address of this weight variable, and we'll see that is there any difference. In same way, when before calling this decrease weight PTR function, I'm printing address of this weight variable here, and inside this decrease weight PTR function also I'm going to print what WPTR is getting. So let us run this program. So when we run it, we see that address of weight in main function, because that variable was present in main function, is some address which is not the same as the address of weight variable in decrease weight function. Because here you see that whenever we pass any variable to a function in C, a separate variable gets created, that's called as the parameter of the function. So here we are not passing weight variable, we are passing value of the weight variable to another variable called weight, which is a parameter of this decrease weight function. But when we see address of weight variable in main is this particular value, and when we see the content of this WPTR, which is a pointer variable, if we print its content in decrease weight function, which is using this, we are passing this PTR, we get it as the same value. Using this pointer variable, we can manipulate any variable. So basically we have to get address of that variable and we have to pass that address to a pointer variable. Using this pointer variable, we will manipulate value of that variable. Thanks for watching.